Welcome back, everybody, to the Swig Spot. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, my beautiful wife, DJ Fuego, otherwise known as Catherine. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me in the Swig Spot.
Yeah, of course, anytime. So, we actually just finished watching through Breaking Bad. I had previously watched it, but obviously, you guys know it's so good. I had to watch it again with Catherine. It was her first time, though. So I'm curious, Catherine, what are your initial thoughts on Breaking Bad?
It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
Like every episode, I was just like jaw drop. Like, I don't know, there's just so many like fun twists and like intense parts and cliffhangers and like incredible acting and
The acting is
incredible,
top tier.
Yeah.
No show has topped the acting in Breaking Bad for me. So I agree.
So yeah, it's just super fun and yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, we will get right into. We're gonna rank the characters in Breaking Bad. Obviously, we touched on the acting a little bit, but we've got two tier lists here. We're gonna do one for each of us, and I'm curious to see if our lists turn out really similar or really different. I think we have some differing opinions on some people.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess the majority of the characters we feel pretty similar about, though. So we'll get right into it, and this is more of a ranking of the characters, not necessarily the actors or the acting. I think everyone on here is an incredible actor.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just the characters.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to start with some of the lesser characters, or do we just want to go
like jump right
in and go through
people,
how it's got it laid out? Let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
We'll go through the order here. So we'll start with Jesse. And I'll sweet old Jesse. So I'll let you kick this one off. Where are you gonna put Jesse?
Oh, easy, absolutely, at the top.
At the top, S tier. Okay.
He's my number one.
He's your number one.
He's my number one. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you there. Jesse is pretty much peak.
Yeah.
He's incredible. I love just the character development that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
His tandem with Walter is amazing. Mm-hmm. So, did you have anything else you wanted to expound on that?
He's just hilarious and also like super full of like emotion and
true.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. We've got Ted Beneke. I'll start us off here.
Okay.
I'm going to give Ted a solid B. I think Ted is probably the most B character on this list. I think he's fine. I think he gets the job done for what his character needs to do. But I don't know that anyone really loves Ted. At least I don't love Ted. I don't hate him. I don't know. He's just he serves his purpose and he does it fine. So I say B. But I'm curious what you think.
I'm gonna go with C.
Okay.
I'm not a huge Beneke fan.
Not a Beneke fan.
Very stubborn.
Okay.
And like he is like a charming guy, but I just don't like relate to him at all. I don't know. I just don't really.
Because nobody else on this list is stubborn at all, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, there's no more of that in this show.
No.
All right, Hank. Oh. This list is going to be so hard.
Not
a stubborn guy. No, not at all.
Not stuck in his ways.
No, not even a little bit. He's really flexible, really open to, new pathways, new ideas. New projects, exactly. Yeah, he's great on new projects. Yeah. Here's the problem with a Breaking Bad character tier list. I feel like everyone is going to end up in S tier for me. Maybe not everybody, but I absolutely love Hank. I think he is one of the best parts about this show. Obviously, one of the main draws is we've got Walter, who is making meth, and his brother-in-law is a DEA agent. Mm-hmm. But just beyond that, I love Hank's character. He's very believable in my opinion. He is obviously very stubborn, but someone glued to their project, I could see going to the lengths and the extent that Hank does.
Very invested.
Yeah, very invested. The way he comes off, his somewhat anger issues, I would say, are very believable as well. Getting angry at Marie when she asks a little too much about work or going back to El Paso. I think it's brilliant, very believable, and he's just I love the drive. I love the drive and dedication that Hank's got.
Ditto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Can't really add much more to that.
Okay. So we'll move on to Hank's partner, Steve. Good old Steve. I'm going to give Steve an A. I like Steve. I like the partnership between Steve and Hank. I love that Steve is always looking out for Hank, and he's kind of trying to... and a lot of times I feel like Steve is trying to help him look past his stubbornness a little bit. And avoid maybe some career pitfalls that may befall him. And overall, Steve is a great friend, a great partner to have. And I don't know that I can say much more than that.
Yeah, I also agree with you. He's like, keeps things lighthearted.
Yeah, I like that. And he takes Hank's sometimes... Hank's jokes that sometimes go a little too far. I think he takes them in good stride.
Mm-hmm.
He puts up with Hank a good bit. Mm-hmm. All right. So now we got Badger. I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't think Badger is Steve Gomez level, but I do like him more than Ted, probably. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give Badger a B. I think he's the funniest of Jesse's friend group. And I don't know. He keeps things lighthearted. He keeps things funny. Not that he has a whole lot of influence in the show. Yeah. He has a little more in those earlier seasons, but overall, a good friend. Keeps things nice and light.
Yeah. I know. I'm debating... I don't know. I actually think he's pretty hilarious. So I'm going to go A.
You're going to go A.
Badger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Above or below Steve?
Below.
Below Steve.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect that. All right. Now we've got...
every time he shows up, I'm like...
This is going to be good.
This is going to be good. Yeah.
I love it. I think my favorite part with Badger is when he gets arrested. Yeah. When he spends I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes with the undercover cop, making sure he's not an undercover cop, just to have him be an undercover cop and get arrested. All right, now we've got the infamous Gustavo Fring. Mm-hmm. So I am gonna put Gustavo at an A above Steve. I don't think he's quite S tier. I would have loved to see a little bit more about Gustavo. There are a couple mentions of his family. I would love to get to know him a little bit better. We mostly just see the front end business side of things, whether that's the chicken shop or the meth empire. Mm-hmm. I think he's a great character and a great antagonist. Mm-hmm. Season 4, where Walter goes up against Fring, is probably my favorite season. And I think that Gustavo is one of the best villains or antagonists that we've had in TV. But I would have loved to see a little bit more about him. I think the most that we get is kind of how he gets in relationship with the cartel, things like that. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see a little bit more on his family dynamic, kind of how he balances things. We get a lot of that with Walter, how he balances the family, but we don't get that as much with Gustavo. Yeah. But overall, exceptional. I love his performance and his acting. Very, I don't know, just cutting that someone could come off so friendly but behind closed doors be so ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like Gustavo.
Yeah.
He's an A. He'll probably be the highest A on my list.
Yeah, I would say A. Can I put him in? Yeah, I'm gonna put him in between there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's super, like, intense and obviously perfect for what the show needed, but, like, as a character, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, like, hard when he's, like, so ruthless and just, like, no, I don't know. Yeah, no remorse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Okay. Now we've got, I think it's Skinny Pete.
Yeah.
Skinny Pete, I'm going to throw in C tier. There's not a whole lot of thought here. I'm going to be honest. This is mostly based on the fact that I don't feel Skinny Pete has a whole lot of influence on the show overall. He definitely plays a smaller part than Badger. He's kind of funny, but not as funny as Badger.
Yeah.
I don't think the performance here is as good either as Badger's. He's okay. I don't hate Skinny Pete, but you referred earlier how, you see Badger show up and you kind of get excited.
Yeah.
I do as well, and I don't feel that with Skinny Pete.
Yeah.
So for that reason, he's in C tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with C as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Now we've got Skylar. I want you to take the lead on Skylar. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about Skylar.
Yeah, overall, I like Skylar. I think she's super relatable, and real. Yeah, I really like her, but she's not quite S tier for me.
Okay. Oh, you're going high.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
Well,
hot take.
No, and that's okay. I mean, I feel like, especially as a mother, you probably relate to Skylar a lot more.
Totally. I do.
I do get that.
And
so.
I get that there's, she's quite the hypocrite at times. But, I mean, aren't we all at times?
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
So, that's my main argument. I have a hard time placing Skylar, but I'm going to put her C, but like bottom C.
C?
Oh, yeah. I have a really hard time with Skylar. Yeah, I do not care for Skylar. And a large amount of that is the, like, I don't know what the word would be, hypocritism that she brings. Hypocrisy, thank you. Yeah. The hypocrisy that she brings. Like you said, we're all hypocrites. So I don't think that makes her a bad character. It makes her a great character, honestly. I think it's incredible writing. It's very intentional that she has these two sides of the coin, and she kind of likes to act like she's better than Walt, even though she does quite a bit of illegal work of her own choosing.
Mm-hmm.
And that just really bugs me. And I don't know. It just bugs me that she likes to pretend that she's so much better than Walt.
Yeah.
And really isn't at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think her best moments are probably right after she learns of Walt's, I guess, participation in making drugs. That's where I think she has the most credibility, where she is initially considering getting a divorce. At that moment, she is taking the higher road. She's not involved in any of the sketchy stuff.
Yeah.
Once she starts to cook Beneke's books, then tries to pretend like she's so much better than Walt, that starts to drive me crazy.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of.
And then she starts, willfully laundering the money, and then she kind of acts like she's the victim, which in some ways she very much is, right? I won't you know, I won't downplay that Walt was manipulative and a liar, and I do think, you know, she is a victim, but there are a lot of things that she chose of her own accord as well. So I think that the performance is stellar. She just bugs me a lot. So, okay, moving on. We've got Flynn, or Walt. Finn?
Is it Finn or Flynn?
I think it's Flynn.
Oh, it's Flynn.
It's Flynn. Or Walt Jr.
Yeah,
whichever you'd like. Since you went first with Skylar, I'll take Walt Jr. Okay. I really like Walt Jr. I'm gonna put him above Steve, but probably below Gustavo. I think Walt Jr. is super funny. I love that he doesn't let his disability get in the way of things. I love how he gives Hank a hard time when Hank's trying to kind of relearn how to walk. And he's being a crab about it. I love that Junior gives him a hard time for it.
He'll just like call people out.
He calls people out, and I love it. I feel bad for the poor kid and everything he has to go through, especially in the last season. You know, learning about his dad and you know, seeing that his mom has also been lying to him. I think that would be incredibly hard. But I love, for the most part, he's pretty cheery. He's a pretty stereotypical teenager, just wants to hang out with his friends, but still values his family, which I think is great. So.
I agree. I'm gonna put him. Oh wait, right. There we go.
Above Frayne. Okay. I respect that.
And I'm kind of, I don't know, as we go along, I'm kind of thinking of moving
some people.
Frayne.
You want to move him?
Oh.
Do you want to move him now, or do you want to wait till the end and see where things end up?
I'm just gonna.
Are you serious? Yeah. B tier? Below Badger? Yeah. You're gonna put Frayne below Badger?
Guy. So
he's an amazing bad guy.
He is. But
oh man.
I like. He makes me cringe a little.
Cringe?
Yeah.
He is not. Why? How does he make you cringe?
Because he's like.
Just so ruthless.
So mean and bad. Yeah.
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 Huh. That is shocking, everybody.
Hot take.
Goodness, that is a hot take. Wow. I don't know if I can continue. Now I'm so disturbed. All right, now we've got Tio, Hector Salamanca. I'm gonna put Hector at a solid B, and I'm just gonna put him above Badger just for the sole fact that, if I can get it there, just for the sole fact that he shits all over the floor at the TEA. Hilarious. Also, when he goes in to testify to Hank, and then he says just like F you, right? They take all this time to get him out of the nursing home and to the DEA, and then he just says, you know, F you. I thought it was hilarious.
He's pretty funny.
I love his sense of humor. He's also ruthless.
Yeah.
I'm impressed how much they can do with a character that does so little, right?
Yeah.
For someone in a wheelchair who can't talk and can only ring a bell. I'm surprised how much they can convey his anger, his resentment.
Totally.
I think it's excellent. He's not in it a whole lot, right? Not in the show a whole lot. Mostly there with Tuco, and then obviously helps get revenge on Frayne. But overall, I think he's great. Yeah. So
B.
Right below Gustavo. Yeah. I'm noticing a trend. You've got B for bad guys. B for bad guys here.
Yeah.
So, all right. We've got Jane. I'm going to let you take the lead on Jane because I need to think about. No, because I just need to think on it. I haven't made up my mind yet.
I'm going to put her in B as well.
Okay.
So B's not just for bad guys.
B's not for bad guys.
Yeah, I like Jane. I think she is like, I don't know, has both like a good and bad influence on Jessie.
Fair.
It's interesting to see like what like toll she takes on Jessie.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's not in it very much, and
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, this might be a hot take for someone who's in it so little, but I'm gonna put her A.
Wow.
I really like Jane. I think, like you said, it's kind of interesting to see her dynamic with Jessie, especially depending on the point in the show. Yeah, for a 5-season show, she's really not in it that much, but the impact that she has on the show, I think, is almost unmeasurable, right? Because that's kind of what sets Jesse on his path.
Yeah.
But I love the complexity of her character. I love that when we meet her, she is, a recovering addict. And I love the complexity that she slips back into her addiction and has to fight that with Jesse. Yeah. Obviously very sad. Yeah. But this is obviously a show that is not all rainbows and butterflies. Yeah. So, and yeah, I don't know. I like that she fights for Jesse, even though sometimes that gets him in trouble. So, all right, now we've got Lydia. Lydia is an interesting one, and I'm gonna put her in a fat D. I think that. Yep. I think once again, I think all of these characters are realistic. I think she's pretty realistic, right? Someone extremely paranoid, extremely suspicious, wants to sit at separate tables, even though that looks so sketchy. I get why she would be upset, but she's also just annoying.
Yeah. She's not a super... Oh, sorry. She's not a super likable...
She's not a super likable character. I think that's part of the point. I don't think she's supposed to be super likable. So I guess I could put her higher because she does what she's supposed to, but I just don't like her all that much.
Yeah.
I kind of, when... Yeah, there you go. Just slap her in there. Yeah. When Mike threatens to kill her, you're kind of like, yeah, just do it. Let's just
totally
get it over
not
with.
attached to her at all.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard because she is kind of just like a last season.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, is impressive how well they can make some of these last season characters work. I noticed we don't have Todd on here, but I think Todd's another really interesting character that's just there for a season.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if we could maybe try to add one here in a second, but yeah, Lydia, no thanks.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah.
Moving on to Marie, another fat D. I'll probably I'll put her above Lydia, but I think that Marie is more annoying than Skylar. She and part of that I think is her stubbornness as well. She's also very stubborn, like Hank. But I think that she takes her hypocrisy to another level as well, especially those first couple seasons when Skylar finds out that she's been like shoplifting, and then she just tries to deny, like she just pretends like
nothing
that didn't happen, and that Skylar's all wrong, even though Skylar knows that she's not, right? Rather than just being like, this is a real big problem, I'm working on it. She tries to almost like gaslight Skylar into thinking that she's the crazy one.
Yeah.
And I think
she's like gets in everyone's business.
She does get in everyone's business. And
it's kind of like just kind of
it's just kind of like ick. Ick. Don't do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna put her on like D level, but I'm gonna see.
Maybe just you had it. There you go. Okay.
No.
Did you have anything you wanted to add on Marie or?
No, I pretty much agree with what you said, but I don't think she annoys me quite as much.
Yeah, that's fair. All her purple too is kind of it's a little excessive. All right, we've got Saul Goodman. I feel like I know your thoughts on Saul Goodman.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I love Saul. He's A tier for me. Right below Gustavo. Maybe even above him. The idea of this sleazy, dirty lawyer who's just kind of there for money as well, I think is a really interesting take on the lawyer.
Yep.
We don't see that very often in TV. But I love that he knows his base and the people that he wants to represent.
Yeah.
And that's who he represents, and he makes some, nice side cash off of it. I love the kind of panic and hysteria that he brings as well. Easily intimidated, right? Gives in really easily, but overall, I love Saul.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I'm curious where you put him.
I'm gonna put him in A as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because when we first started, when we first got introduced to Saul, I don't know if you remember, you did not
like him.
You did not like him. You thought he was super annoying, and I said you got to let him grow on you. I promise that he gets so much better.
I feel like now that you say that, I think you're right. I was at the beginning like, who is this guy?
Who's this guy?
He's annoying. But by the end of the season, it's like definitely like get to know him, and he's funny. I think he always adds kind of a funny side to things. And
I also kind of feel bad. He gets stuck in a lot of awkward spots, right? Because he's Jesse's lawyer and Walt's lawyer and technically Skylar's lawyer. And so there's a few sticky situations that arise out of that. He also works with Mike, but Mike works for Gustavo. Like, he's got this weird connection with everybody. And it definitely makes for some messy situations, which I really enjoy. Yeah. All right. I want to know what you're going to go with for Mike. Yeah.
Okay. I just have to think about this for a quick second.
Okay.
He's definitely, I don't know, maybe this will surprise you.
Okay.
He's definitely in the top for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he'll go right there.
Right there in S?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I don't know. I really like Mike for some reason. He's like intense and like to the point, and I don't know, but he also has this like side to him where he tries to like connect with people and like be, I don't know, he's just like real with them, and like he doesn't, I feel like, ever try to like manipulate people or like
very
he's just like,
this
is how it is.
This is how it is, and we're here to get business done.
Yeah.
I totally
like
agree with you.
He's like a protector.
Yeah. I love Mike. Mike is one of my favorite characters in the show. I don't know if that's how most people feel. I haven't done a lot of research on how people feel about Mike, but I do love that we're here to do business. I love his calm demeanor for the most part, right? He obviously can handle intense situations, but that's partially just because he remains calm. I love that he knows where he is in Fring's organization, and he uses that, right? I think the best kind of showmanship of him as a character is in season 5 after Fring dies, and he is so upset at Walt. I don't know if you remember this. He says, "We had a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you could have just shut your mouth and kept cooking.
Yeah.
Like, we would just keep making money, but no, you and your ego."
Yep.
And I think that's great. I think that it works perfectly for his character.
He didn't need to.
He didn't need anything else. Yeah, he didn't need anything else. He was just there to, I guess, serve Fring. There's a lot of times he does things and he doesn't really know why. When he takes Jesse out to collect the money, he doesn't really know why he's doing it, but other than Fring asked him to. And I respect that. So, you have anything else on Mike, or should we move on to Tuco?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. I absolutely love Tuco. He is so high for me.
Seriously?
Yeah. Do you not have him this high? I want to know. Let's see where you put him, and
no.
then we'll argue.
Oh man, he is at the.
Oh, seriously?
Well, he's above Lydia, but he's
no way.
Yeah, I can't stand Tuco.
I love Tuco so much.
Explain yourself.
He's batshit crazy, and I love it. Like,
he's literally crazy.
He's crazy.
He's like annoying crazy. Like he's just like.
I don't think he's annoying. I think he's just like the right amount. No. I think he's perfect.
I think he's like a little too, like he's not quite. His character's not quite believable.
I think that's fair. However, like they make it very obvious. He likes to try the product. Yeah. I think he's very consistently high, right? Yeah. And when you're consistently high, you don't act very, rational or believable.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm okay setting aside my belief for Tuco a little bit, knowing that about 90% of the time he's high, right? Yeah, even you're right, when they're at the little shack with Hector and he's like making food, he's like getting high because he's just like so paranoid and worried. And but I love the intensity that he brings, especially for that first season when Jesse and Walt are just getting into the industry. Mm-hmm. Seeing someone like Tuco is terrifying, right? I think if Gustavo were the first villain, that wouldn't be super scary. He's, for the most part, more approachable. He controls his emotions a lot better. Yeah. The only time he really, I think, is really scary is when he like slices that dude's throat. Yeah. But even then, he's very straight faced. Yeah. He's not exploding. I think that's another reason why I don't like Fring as much, is because he like has no emotion. Yeah, he doesn't let his emotions show very much. Like, but that's one of the reasons I love Tuco is he's so unpredictable. Yeah. Right? The best example is when his henchman says, "And don't forget who you're working for." Oh, and he says, "What did you say?" Oh right? Gosh. And then just beats the absolute daylight out of him is wild. Yeah. Something that is very well intentioned ends up in his death. Yeah. Right. So I think he's perfect for a perfect villain for the season. Yeah. Just to show how dangerous this industry is. I thought it was perfect. But you're not a fan. No. It's super annoying. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm just like, no thanks. Yeah. Keep your distance. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll let you take it away for the last one. Walter White. No, I want you to do it. You want me to do it? Yeah, I want you to do it. I mean, there's nowhere else to put him except for the very top. I think you're gonna put him below Jesse. Yeah. But I mean, that's still high enough. I get that. Yeah. Like I said, Jesse's my number one. But... Jesse is I probably like Jesse more, but I think Walt is the better character for sure. I think that Walter, I had told you this the other day, that Walter White and then Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender are the two best examples of like character development that we have in television and movie. The fact that we can start out with a nerdy high school chemistry teacher, a goody two shoes. Totally. To the end, we've got someone running a drug empire, willing to use children to get what he needs done. He becomes ruthless and... Yeah, but the fact that we're able to do that and believe him every step of the way, right? There is never a moment I think to myself, no, I don't think that he would do that here, right? Like, that seems a little too extreme. Yeah. I think is... just absolutely masterful, and I don't think you can do anything better. Yeah. And I don't even I can't even put into words how I was gonna say, I don't know what else to say. Like how amazing his transformation is. That's so true. I love that he becomes kind of what he swears he never would, right? At the very beginning, they're very, intent on, we're not going to do things this way.
We're not murderers.
We're not murderers. You know, they end up having to kill those first people, and they say never again. And then it gets to the point where he's very much like Gustavo, right? He uses Brock just as a move, like Jesse says, right? He uses him just as a move. Yeah. He risked his life just as a move to get Jesse on his side. And I mean, we talked about this, but what brings it full circle for me is when Walter admits he did everything for himself. For him. Right? Yeah. A whole show, the whole series, he talks about he's doing it for his family, which is very much how he started. Yeah. But intentions very much change. Yeah. And when he says, you know, I did this for me, as something I was good at, you know he's telling the truth, right? Those last 2-3 seasons, it's not about
the money.
It's not about the money or the family anymore. He could have gotten out 5 different times, and he never does. So many
opportunities.
Yeah,
I know. I think that's what it is for me too. Like, he gets into it, strictly for like the money to leave for his family, and he ends up liking kind of the thrill and the, I don't know, skill that it's like requires, and he's the best.
He's the best in the world. Yeah. I love it so much. Okay, I'm curious. We brought up Todd a little bit earlier, so just as a side note, I'm curious where you would put Todd. Yeah.
I don't know. He's kind of another like bad guy for me. Like, he's
you'd put him B for bad guy. I actually would also probably put him B. Maybe just probably right by Badger. He's an interesting character.
Yeah, he is interesting.
And
it's like he's one you can't quite figure out.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. He is so interesting. Like, he kills that kid, but you know that's what he thought was the right decision.
Yeah.
And even though Jesse really hates Todd, I do feel like Todd stands up for Jesse a couple times. Yeah. I think Todd is the only reason Jesse's alive.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I think you could argue that was mostly for the meth, right? He wanted to keep Jesse around to cook, but I think it was more than that. I think he didn't want people to die unnecessarily. I do think he was slightly conflicted and didn't totally agree with his uncle. But also not the greatest guy. Yeah. So I think that it is interesting. I think
he also just wanted to stay in cahoots with Lydia.
Lydia, yeah. Well, he was, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anyone else that we missed? I feel like this is pretty much everyone.
The main people.
The main people, yeah. I feel like Todd was the only one really left off, and not even really. I only thought of that because Lydia's on here and he wasn't. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, an amazing show. Probably one of the best TV shows I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And most shows don't even get close.
For sure.
So, overall, I like these lists. Well, I like my list. I think your list is kind of weird. Gustavo's way too low. Tuco's way too low. Skylar's way too high. Yeah, but.
We can't have all the same.
I guess that's what opinions are for, right? So, well, everybody, thanks for sticking around. Yeah. If you liked the video, please drop a like. Comment how you feel about our tier lists. Let me know that DJ Fuego here is wrong. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will catch you guys in the next one.